Hello everyone and welcome back in our series where we build together an MCP server to manage tasks, to create and manage tasks for agents like Claude Code or Windsurf, or Claude Desktop or any other, in fact, agentic coder that can build code as well as use MCP servers. So in this video I want to focus on a specific problem. Namely the fact that my MCP server is running currently. Now the tools are dynamic in a way that, let's say I want to go into the template and I've got my project template with the properties of the project. Now if I wanted to actually go to the task, because there's less of them, if I wanted to add another block or section within my template to be populated by the LLM, I would need to go in and add a new block in here. So I'll just say this is test, this is test block or property, whichever way you want to name it, and then give it description. So, you know, I'll actually call it tests, and then I could say in here like comprehensive tests for the entire project to be, or entire task for the entire task. So the idea is that, you know, I'm adding another block. This is a prompt for the LLM to create another section. Now the problem I've got at the moment is that, you know, I can save that. It will save it into the database, to our Postgres database. Let's go back and see templates and tasks. See, it's saved in here, but until I rebuild the server itself, the tools that are currently connected will not be able to use that extra block because they can't see it. So what I want to do is create a task to fix it and make sure that, you know, any change that is propagated within the UI, it's created within the UI, is basically propagated back to to the tools, so the tools can basically use it. So for that, I have done a little bit of a research, basically asking Claude in Claude Desktop, you know, what are the options, you know, as you know, as we're building our tools using properties, so each of the blocks within my template is basically a property or as a property of a parameter. Sorry, it's not property, it's a parameter within my tool. I want to utilize that functionality, you know, to be dynamic. So I basically tasked Claude Code to research dynamic MCP tool configuration, and it came back with some, useful ways we can do it. So now I want to say to Claude Desktop to use again our MCP tool to create task. To investigate current implementation to investigate current implementation of create task tool to see which of the above dynamic implementations would fit best. So include in this task all the above. I'm going to go back in here and go back to our task management. I want to make sure that I select the project flows, because otherwise it would just create the task somewhere else. But if I select project flows, it would propagate that state into each tool. So you can basically, when you're using the MCP and you have the project selected either through UI or through the tool itself, so you could request select tool, use the select tool and provide the project you want to select, and it would select it for you as a state for that session. I choose here to use the UI instead. That in turn as well is using the tool underneath to select that project, but never mind. So it's a small detail. So going back to our creation of the task, I'm saying include in this task all the above research Okay, so let's save that and wait for the tool to create the task. So you can see it nicely is creating the Okay, let's have a look actually, it looks like quite extensive task. I'm going to go in. Right, so we've got that. Let's go into drafts and see what it did actually create. Okay, well, it's a big task. Let's see. Do we have? Okay, we've got model context protocol, SDK, everything in here. So we do have all the sources necessary. Okay. This looks quite good to me in terms of the task itself. So I think at this stage I'm gonna go into shall we use Claude Code straight away? I think the question is clear. Actually, no. I'm going to go and say get. Again, I think this time we're going to use GPT high reasoning, I guess. What is the cost? It is 1 token, fine. Let's see how that performs. Get task. You know, I'm quite interested as well. It's quite new model, so I'm quite interested how it's going to perform. You know, I think I keep forgetting to do the project first. I mean, I need to find a way to actually include project description or prompt or project file with the task file as well. Now fine, I'm going to say get project, and I will say project flows. Right, so I would imagine it's going to use the tool to list the projects so we can figure out which one is the project flows. Okay. Oh yeah, well, right. I was thinking to myself how it knows it's ID 83. Obviously we know it's project flows because the task outputs that as a variable, fine. So right. So fine. So we've got, we can implement the task. Okay. Implement the research phase of the task 103. Update items as you go along using update task 2. Do not change any files. just research investigate. Right, fine. Let's leave it like that for now and see what's going to come up with. I imagine when I was comparing like a low GPT-5, low reasoning, medium reasoning to high, medium reasoning to each other, you know, there was a big difference in terms of the time we had to wait for the medium compared to low. So I imagine this one will be even longer, but that's fine. Hopefully the accuracy will be better. Right, so is there more planning by the look of it? So basically what I'm planning to do with this is do the research phase, figure out what is the best option here. And I kind of already know that, but, and you know, if we look at the patterns in here, so context aware parameters, or you know, is probably the most feasible. You know, adaptive schema based on current state is probably the most feasible, and as we're using kind of parameters already for the blocks, it kind of seems like a, you know, reasonable choice, but we'll see what GPT-5 thinks about it. It's doing a lot of searching. And of course, as we're waiting for the LLM to come back, we can create manually new branch. Which seems to be not working. Okay, create new branch. Okay, branch, we're going to call it task 103. Keep it in line with other tasks or other branches we've done earlier. Let's have a look at what is okay. What is it doing? I wonder what is it actually doing. Is it even actually using? Hmm. Well, actually, let's have a look at what. Nothing has been updated. Nothing has been done really so far. So it's creating a lot of stuff. It's okay, so it's doing a lot of stuff here. It's locating, create tools. Okay. Let's have a look. No, still nothing there. Right. I am going to basically stop it because I've got no idea what it's doing. It seems like it's a lot of glitches. Well, it's generating some plan. I mean, I don't know. Seems like maybe the GPT-5 reasoning is overthinking. Okay. Right. This seems quite... Okay, it stopped. Alright, it looks like I wasted a lot of credits for that. I'm gonna go back to Gemini. And see how that performs. It's a thinking model as well. I'm hoping it's not going to overthink again. Okay, right. Let's see how's Gemini performing here. Right, so we've got the task tool, it's found the function. Let's okay. Okay. Okay, okay, to understand full picture, I need to okay, it seems like it's better because now it's actually updating. Yes, so it updated the tool. Let's actually have a look and see. Okay, so yes, we've got two updated. That makes total sense. And it's carry on. Okay. Right, so to be honest, first impression, it seems like the GPT-5 high, is it high thinking? What is the name of the model? High reasoning. I think went a bit too far with reasoning. On the previous task when I used GPT-5 medium and low, they actually perform better. Maybe it's just a type of task. Okay, so again, right, I don't have refresh button. Maybe I can get refresh buttons. Okay, it's carry on. Okay, so okay, well, okay. Let's see, it still need to do some more research. Let's have a look what I will come back with. Right. It's interesting. Right, I'm going to stop. and see. Right. Actually, I don't know if they all not going a little bit too far. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. Where are we? Right. It looks like to me, I think we've got some good patterns in there. Let's actually go away. It's kind of halfway through. Let's go away and see what other things it's going to uncover. I'm going to check. Okay, Gemini Pro is not. Right, it's a quite big, extensive task that I give it. I'm actually quite surprised how nicely even, Windsurf is executing the tasks like that. Maybe actually. Maybe I'm doing it the wrong way. Right. Right, I'm going to reverse everything that we've done in terms of the investigation using Windsurf. And unfortunately, oh no. Okay. Dynamic MCP enhancements. Right. So we've got the carry on point here. Continue. So I had to put continue twice. Well, once I stopped it. Okay, get project. think I'm gonna go all the way up to here. And I will say investigate the code base. And update the task with finding. Investigation and the finding should be done in a way that later should help to choose what method is best. Your task is to provide the insights to the code base and update the task for later decision. Okay, and that's a bit of convoluted stuff, but let me actually go ahead and update everything. I think I originally started from the wrong end of the task. So it kind of makes sense to do the smaller bit first, and rather than do the investigation here, we need to probably bring it into Claude Code. Now I don't want to do investigation in Claude Code of the code base because the file system I don't think is as good as Windsurf. So it kind of makes sense to do the investigation of the code base in Windsurf and then go back to Claude Code to select the right approach. Okay, so okay, fine. So we've got that examine current implementation. Where did we? Okay. Technical context, do we have it? Okay. Well, that kind of makes sense. So we can, well, we've got our investigation updated. There's still a lot of things to do, but okay. I have updated task 103 with the code investigation based on this. Can you advise on the best approach out of above? Alright, so let's see what is Sonnet going to come up with. Actually, I could use Opus, but fine. Sonnet is good enough. Okay. Don't know what's going on, but we try with no changes. But I think everything is working slowly. It might be me recording and having a slow machine as well. Okay, it's doing something. Get task. It's doing the right things. That's promising. These tasks, well, the task should be good enough. That's interesting. Let's have a look. Oh, project flows is there. This is quite interesting. Why we do not see let's try again. Get task 103. Okay. Interesting. It's running. Right, this is really frustrating. Oh, let's get in task. Okay. Right. Okay, so that seemed like a lot better approach. No. No, we had the investigation done. It's kind of like, rather than doing the investigation, it kind of makes sense. So it was pointless waste of credits to do it in Windsurf, like straight away, but fine. Can you adjust the task? The task to reflect the findings. So now okay, what do we have here? We've got items. Right, let's have a look what we have. Okay, so it's updated a lot of stuff. Yes. It kind of looks like a big thing to execute, but kind of on one hand makes sense to keep it as one big task, but on the other, you kind of almost think it should be broken down. Right. I am going to conclude this session for now and restart it later on.